Madam Speaker, I have an amendment at the desk.
You gonna read the?
Yes, ma'am. If I may, it is amendment number 523423/1.
Amendment number 1.
Move so much be considered the reading of the amendment, Madam Speaker.
So ordered.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that the atrocity committed by Russia invading the Ukraine is something that we should take very seriously, and we do, and I appreciate the bill. Obviously, needless to say, it's a good bill because the bill seeks to divest from Russia monies invested by the state retirement and pension system. Makes good sense to me. You know what else makes good sense? That we take this opportunity to also divest from China. Long overdue. The floor leader said that we have $7 million invested of the Maryland retirees and pension system in Russia. Do you know how much money we have invested in China? The same system? $3.5 billion of your tax dollars. $3.5 billion. And what kind of society are we investing Maryland's pension system in? What kind of government? What kind of society in China? One that is engaged in putting nearly 2 million Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. Forced concentration camps. Forced sterilization of the Uyghur Muslims. Separating the children from their parents and putting the children in separate concentration camps, which they call re-education camps. Not to mention, the Communist Party of China is engaged in a surveillance society system that has a social credit score that says that if you ever criticize the government, ever, the credit score that you would normally use to, buy a place or rent a place or travel or go to the good grocery stores, that's all taken away from you because your credit score is lowered and you are banned then from going to those places because in China, the Communist Party is a dictatorship, a de facto dictatorship. And yet we have $3.5 billion of state retiree pension system dollars put into China. Yes, we should divest from Russia, obviously. Should have done it a long time ago. But we also have this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to divest from a country that actually is engaging in atrocities that are almost unheard of, including, among other things, organ harvesting of Uyghur Muslims. It's disgusting. So, Madam Speaker, this is long overdue. I'm glad that we want to divest Maryland's pension system from Russia. I think it's great. And I think if you're a Democrat, not only do you want to divest money, and you should want to divest money from China, but you should also be concerned about what China is doing to the climate, how they're literally destroying their environment. And yet we're participating in it to the tune of $3.5 billion. So, Madam Speaker, for all those reasons, I move this amendment, which is a common sense amendment that adds China to the divestiture of Maryland's assets, and it makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Floor leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the good delegate for his amendment. It would have been really nice to see it before just now, however. I appreciate his newfound dislike of China. I know that, a couple of years ago, his good friend Donald Trump said that how much he and President Xi love each other. But, that being said, he's right. We have $3.5 billion invested in China. If we were to extend that to businesses doing business in China, that would be $10 billion of our pension fund. Our current pension fund is $70 billion. What he is proposing is that we divest 1/7 of our existing state employee and teacher pension fund at this very moment on an amendment without having even looked at how we would approach this process. I strongly, strongly ask the body to reject this amendment. One, we haven't done the math on this. We don't know how it will affect our pension fund. Two, we are focused right now on one thing on this bill, and that is Russia invading China. We are trying to choke off, Russia invading Ukraine. We are trying to choke off an invading force financially so that they can protect, so that we can try and protect an ally, a democratically elected country that is an ally of ours. So I ask you to reject this amendment. It makes no sense right now. I appreciate everything that the good gentleman from Calvert said about the things that China is doing. He's absolutely correct. And we need to look at, as a nation, what we are doing, what our relationship with China is. But as of right now, at this moment, this is a really bad idea for our pension fund. So I ask you to reject this amendment. Thank you.
Madam
Maker
Speaker.
of the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So what I just heard, ladies and gentlemen, is the only time it really matters that we divest from a country, Maryland's retirement and pension system, is when it doesn't have a substantial impact on the system. Pretty amazing comment. And I'm going to take the high road on this because this is an important debate, a very important debate, one that really should have happened a long time ago. We know for sure that China and Russia colluded with the Olympics, namely that they agreed with one another that Russia would not invade the Ukraine until after the Olympics. These two countries, sadly, are our enemies. And we have no business investing $3.5 billion certainly in China, and we have no business investing the $7 million in Russia. I'm glad this bill is taking care of the Russian side of it. Now it's time to divest from China. Should have happened a long time ago. It's shocking that this is even coming to light now. I'm sure that the citizens of this state don't even know about it, but I'm glad that we're able to talk about it in the open. So, Madam Speaker, I appreciate the latitude here. This is an important issue for the citizens of this state. We should not be investing in China with taxpayer dollars and pension dollars. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There is a time and a place for a debate about China and its egregious human rights abuses, but this is not it. This is not it. The words Democrat and Republican should not be injected into a debate on this bill. Russia is killing children. It's bombing civilians. I saw a picture the other day of a pregnant woman being evacuated from a hospital that Russia had shelled in Mariupol. She died, as did her baby. We should be speaking not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans with one voice, without controversy, without side debates on this bill to say we are opposed to the tyrannical regime in Russia and we support the people of Ukraine. There is a time and a place for a debate about China, and it's a debate that I personally am happy to have, but this is not it. I would ask that we reject the amendment and vote, every single one of us, regardless of our party, united to support our allies in Ukraine.
Gentleman from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. If any of you have been paying attention to the news here lately, what we're seeing is China's complicity in what is going on in Ukraine. So I rise in support of this amendment because I think it is very relevant. They're supplying them with military supplies. They're supplying them with gas and oil. They are behind this just as much as the Russians are. So I urge this body to support this amendment as a very relevant amendment to what is going on. and is very pertinent to what is happening today. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Make the floor leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want us to stay very focused on this. Our pension fund has done a great deal of research and work on what it would mean to divest from Russia. They have not done that work on China. I agree with the majority leader. There is and should be a place to have this discussion on China. But simply removing 1/7 of our pension fund without any research, without any math whatsoever, is irresponsible to our retirees. And I ask you to reject this amendment and vote for this bill. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Gentleman from St. Mary's.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just to clarify a couple things. I don't think you can tell the difference between these two countries right now. They're working in collusion with each other. Russia, well, China's buying the natural gas and violating some of our sanctions that we're trying to bring this battle with the Ukraine to a peaceful end. It's interesting in some of the comments, though, we're talking that this isn't the right time. If this isn't the right time, then what is the right time? And we keep hearing, well, the pension system hasn't studied the divestments in China. This is House Bill 1482. When do you think this was dropped? I don't know how long it takes to study this, but I'm thinking this is emergency legislation. It goes into effect. I think our pension managers can maybe make the corrections necessary in a timely manner. They're professionals. I urge the body to vote for this amendment because it's common sense, and we need to make a stand. This is about right and wrong.
On the amendment, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Roll call, Madam Speaker.
Roll call.
Madam Speaker.
Clerk will take the call. The amendment fails.